Boxing fans across America and around the world, me and my brothers got together the other day for the first time since this pandemic has broke out. We enjoyed ourselves mightily,
Absolutely.
and we got a chance to see some good boxing. We saw some good fights on the undercards as well. But y'all know why we were together. It was for the big fight in the welterweight division. You had Bud Crawford going against Shawn Porter. And before we get into it, I just want to shout out Shawn Porter because he does take fights. I've seen that guy fight pretty much everybody. It ain't seem like that brother to be ducking nobody. You know what I'm talking about? And honestly, he did fight admirably. Fought a tough fight. He was getting inside, smothering Bud Crawford. But I think me and my brothers kind of peeped out early in the fight that, the way he was coming in there, slick, kind of reckless, with how precise Bud can be, and how powerful he can be with his shots, that Shawn was probably going to get caught with some. And in that 10th round, he did. Now, Tim G. Jacob, to his credit, he called 11. Okay? He called 11, but it may have gone to the 11th if Shawn's pops hadn't stopped it. And that really, the stoppage by the father led to a very interesting conversation amongst our family, okay? And we're going to continue that conversation right here for y'all. But I'm going to go ahead and turn it to my brother. Tim G. Jacob already up there shaking his head. He still feels some type of way about what Kenny Porter did, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and throw it to him. T, what were your thoughts on the fight and the stoppage by Shawn Porter's pops?
First of all, I just want to say I truly do respect the Porter family. Okay,
right.
Shawn Porter, Kenny Porter, that's what you want to see. A pops and a son really like going through it together. They showed the clips or the interview and everything of how things kind of came along and how Shawn became what Shawn Porter is by way of his pops making some sacrifices to get him to this point where he's a world-class boxer, champion, you name it. But even though that's your son, if you've trained a warrior, if you've raised a warrior, you let him go out on the sword. You let him go out. The young man was not hurt. He got caught. That's what I say to that knockdown. Mm-hmm. He got caught. Okay. But you let him go out on the sword. Now, I tend to wonder if maybe Kenny didn't prepare Shawn like he should have prepared him. He goes talking about what Shawn didn't do, and Shawn didn't take this information, and guys get to a certain level and they don't want to take information anymore. Well, wait a minute. Shawn been with you the whole ride. So why would Shawn not want to hear what you got to say when it comes to a championship fight? This is another fight that Shawn Porter is not scared to take against one of the greats. And you're saying that he wasn't ready. He wasn't prepared enough. But Kenny, doesn't that reflect on you? Like, that's my whole thing. You sitting there talking about the kid wasn't ready and he wasn't taking information, but what were you doing? What did you do differently? How did you train him differently to prepare for a guy like Bud Crawford, who we know is evil, a freaking assassin, don't care who's in front of him. If it was his grandma in the ring, he'd probably knock her out. That's just how vicious he is. But yet, Kenny, you made Shawn look like he just wasn't even interested in the fight. Now, you listen to his retirement remarks and you hear him say, basically in his mind, he knew this was getting towards the end and that he wanted to leave the sport healthy. And he kind of quoted, or he kind of talked about Andre Ward and how Andre Ward left the sport full health, okay with leaving one more fight on the table, as he kind of alluded to. But yet, I'm questioning Kenny. I'm questioning Kenny Porter. And I'm questioning Kenny Porter because I don't see no other guys that he trains. I don't know of any other guys. I've tried to look. I haven't seen anybody else that he's in the corner for. So obviously
devoted to his son, too.
And that's okay. That's okay. That's a great thing. But I do think the Mayweathers got in the other corners of some other fighters. I believe that is true. So there's room for you to do work. So are you really that dude? Or do you just really have a guy that's uber talented? Maybe not the guy that's gonna beat the elite of the elite in the class, but you got a guy that is a top 5 welterweight in the world consistently. He's top 5. He's gonna be in the conversation. I just look at Kenny a certain way today, man, because I just think the post fight remarks were a little uncalled for. I think that was a little bit much. I think it really exposed what went on in camp with him and their preparation. Or maybe Kenny just said, "I don't really know how to beat a guy like Bud Crawford." Maybe that's what Kenny just told the people.
Okay.
But I'll leave the floor open.
Okay. JoJo, seem like T getting out on the pops right now. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna turn to you. I think you probably can get out on the pops some more, but we're gonna see.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
See there? We all fathers on here, and y'all already attacking the father.
Absolutely. I mean, Pops OD'd on that comment, man. That wasn't necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Like, has he not heard the saying, everything does not have to be said out loud?
Mm-hmm.
As T said, man, I thought Shawn fought a good fight. Like I said, I mean, I had it almost neck and neck myself.
Mm-hmm.
And when he got hit, he was hitting the pavement with his fist. Somebody that's hurt is not going to hit the pavement with their fist. Their face going to hit the pavement. But I hate that Shawn retired. But I mean, as an athlete, you know when you need to lead a sport.
Mm-hmm.
Because I actually wanted to get on here and show y'all what Shawn should have did. His pops, they say stay across the street, right?
Yep.
Don't run out.
Okay. So
run out.
It's Wells. I know you've been riding for the pops, right?
Yes, as I thought y'all would.
I'm glad you are. I need you to be Kenny for me, okay?
Okay.
So I'm Shawn. I'm gonna go across the street.
Okay.
I'm gonna knock on the door, and you go ahead and open the door and answer.
What up, son?
Hey, Dad. How you doing, man?
Doing good.
Yeah, I don't really know how to say this. You know, you always gonna be my dad, right?
Just
Like,
go ahead and cut to the chase, son.
Yeah.
Say it with your chest.
Okay, you know, the dad title is forever,
Right.
right? My next fight, you know where you normally be at in a gym when I'm training?
Uh-huh.
Like, you're not gonna be in that spot anymore. At my actual fight,
You're beating around the bush, son.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
are you trying to fire me? Is that what you're trying to do? You trying to
no.
make this my fault?
I would never fire my dad. I'm letting you go. That's what I'm doing. But
Son, I'm from the streets. You know I'm from the streets. I am not gonna play with you like this. You didn't train properly for this fight. Now you're trying to put it back on me.
Right. I understand. You got me pretty far, right?
I got you as far as I made you.
Well, no.
I'm like David Ruffin said. I made your.
Okay. So when did you run 5 miles?
I was out there with you.
No. You was in
I
the
was
car.
in the car alongside you, but I was out there with you.
And see, this is the problem. You shouldn't have aired me out like that. Because for one, I did prepare. What you were doing over there, you had your little tenderoni, the one that was up in that ring. That's what you was focused on.
Now, look at him now. Now he just to put some stuff on Kenny. That's just so dirty.
But that's all I got. He should not have aired his son out like that. That's for at home when you chastise him, not in public.
I Caesar, get in here now. Boxing historian.
Yeah,
Caesar Sugar. Are you gonna give something to the father, man? Are you got anything?
First and foremost, I think we all agree that Shawn Porter was going to lose that fight once he went down in back-to-back rounds. He was going to lose that fight. barring
They
a
went down
miracle,
twice in round 10. That was
right?
the same round. Okay.
So barring a miracle, there's no way he was going to come back and win that fight anyway. So to that point, I can see why his father threw in the towel. I really don't see any way he's going to win. No need him getting hurt. Got it. I got it. I really do. I got it. And
It's
so
a-
if
it's a
that's
butt
his
coming.
if that's his reason, I'm all for it.
It's a comma and a butt coming.
Here's what I have a problem with. all right?
Here's another
That's it.
transition. Okay.
Kenny
You go.
came into the post-game press conference, and that fight right after, like he fought. You know what I mean? Like he was like, my guy wasn't taking this serious, man. You know what I didn't hear throughout that entire broadcast? Kenny telling Shawn, hey man, you're not taking this seriously. Or, I knew you were going to do this after round 3. I knew you were going to do this. You didn't put it together in training camp anyway. You keep doing this, I'm going to throw in the towel. We never saw that. We never saw that. Right? So this whole thing of I'm going to wait until the end rather than I'm going to tell you this throughout the night, that's weird to me. If they're father and son, you would think you can have that real conversation while you're watching your son get shots put on him, right? If Shawn Porter is truly retired, respect to that brother. It's been a hell of a career. You heard Will say it. The man doesn't duck anybody. He'll fight anybody, anywhere. Doesn't matter what it looks like. But I'll say this: if he's retired, then Kenny should be retired too, right? Because the way you dogged him out in public. The way that you said, I look out for my son because I've been with him since the day he picked up boxing gloves and bags and all of that stuff, right? So that's the only reason you're in the sport. Go home too.
See that?
Right? You had that man pretty much shut it down early in that fight and his career because you can tell on his face the way he took it that he was very disappointed in his father, his idol, looking at him and putting him on blast for the world to see. So if that's the way you want to play it, cool, but you need to be done just like Shawn. And I tell you this, America, Shawn isn't done. This is just his way of saying, I'm done with my father. I'm going to retire, but I'll be back. I'll be back.
Man, these boys so hard.
I will be back. Book it right now. Showtime Shawn Porter is coming back. Maybe a year, maybe even 2. But I'm telling you, he's going to come back. And when he does come back, it'll be without Kenny Porter. They'll always be father-son. That's great. That's fine. But other than that.
Who did y'all say this man was talking to about retiring?
Andre. They said
Andre Ward.
He mentioned Andre Ward being somebody that he kind of looked to and went, this is somebody that I want to be like. I want to leave the sport healthy. I want to leave the sport with my mental,
with all his faculties,
stable, everything there. That's what he was saying.
Okay, it's one or two things then. Either he lying, well, that's not a good thing. Y'all didn't see me snap out about my quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, lying. I don't like liars.
Not a good thing.
So either he's lying,
or
I'm gonna switch my opinion. In the hotel room, I told y'all that the Pop should not have stopped the fight.
Yeah.
But that I didn't have no problem with the Pop airing him out.
Okay.
Now I didn't know nothing about the talking to Andre Ward thing or being inspired, by him. If that's the case, if the Pop knows that, he should have stopped the fight. When you get knocked down, it's like a slick concussion. So to have him in there getting beat up on by the best welterweight, arguably the best pound fighter in the world, for a few more rounds, what purpose does that serve? You know your son wants to get out the game with his mental faculties there. That he's not that type of guy who want to go out here and sword. If he's saying he want to get out like Andre, he trying to protect his mind. He trying to protect the mental. And that gives credence to what Pop said, that he might not have been all in the training if he already thinking about retirement. Shawn Porter, 34 years old, and the internet is telling me that he's worth $5 million.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I know Ali said this. And what's the brother, Hands of Stone?
Duran.
Both of them said when you rich, it's hard to train hard. Like when you broke, it's easier to train hard. But when you rich, this man got worth $5 million. Pop might not been like, dude, you wasn't focused. So if you ain't focused, why can't I say you ain't focused? He wasn't focused.
But now Shawn,
you can say it. Go ahead, T. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say Shawn alluded to in the presser. He said that they had already discussed retirement after Errol Spence when he fought Errol Spence back 18, 17, whenever it was. He said, we thought Errol Spence was gonna be the last fight, but then they kind of talked about it and was like, Shawn was like, no, I don't think this is it for me. I think there's one more out there. So the Bud fight, he already knew coming into it that was gonna be it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it ain't like it ain't been on his mind. I think the man was just trying to realize what his future looked like going forward. I mean, he's already doing broadcasting anyway with boxing, so it was already on his mind.
All right, so if that's y'all boy, and y'all know he thinking he done with this anyway, he tired of this. Y'all ain't stopping it.
No.
I'm okay with him. I'm okay with him stopping it. I'm okay with his reasoning in stopping it. I really am.
You don't like the airing them out.
I don't, man. You could easily say that in the locker room when it's just family around.
That's fair. That's fair.
And you say, man, you know why I stopped that fight. No, Papa, I don't know why you stopped that fight.
That's fair.
Man, I stopped that fight because you were not into it this entire camp. You've been talking about retiring, and tonight you fought like it and you trained like it.
So that would be like how with football, you see how they like the Patriots kind of stone faced with the media.
Yeah.
But then behind the scenes, they say Belichick rip everybody.
Because that's his son, and so if he's this is clearly an overprotective father.
That's fair.
Which is great. I mean, like, again, in the real world, that's exactly what we want as black fathers. Protect your son, right? But if you're that overprotective of him, then why would you put him out there like that to question his character for the world to see? That's the only problem I have, because that doesn't go with the narrative of two guys that's been sticking it out. That goes with the narrative of them being honest with each other, but you don't have to be honest with each other for the world to see.
Well, it makes Shawn Porter look like somebody that,
like, he's not a professional, man.
Yeah, but don't we like those folks in sports that keep it all the way 100 with us about what really happened? Don't that what we be asking for?
I'd much rather it have been. I'd much rather it have been a way in which, okay, it just comes out later, it leaks out later, not fresh hot after the knockdown, because stuff like that'll leak. But I just rather
it's the truth though.
But yeah,
that's why
Kenny, you're not nice like that.
But that's why I also say Shawn is gonna fight again.
Okay,
because to me, that's me saying I'm retiring in that post-fight conference. That to me feels more of like a shot to your dad. Well, if you don't think I'm good enough no more, I'm done.
So if Roger was still alive and Roger said that, you would be Gucci with that because they came from a established trainer.
Me or T?
T.
Okay.
I think Roger know what he's talking about.
So
was Kenny Porter a boxer?
I don't know nothing about Pop other than what we just saw in the pre-fight.
I also don't think Roger would say. I think Floyd Sr. might have said that, but I don't even think Roger would say it because it's something about respecting the actual person who has been in the ring taking the shots. You can protect them by saying, "I'm not gonna let you get hurt no more, man." But then when you say what happened, you let that man say what happened. He was the one taking the shots.
Yeah.
Let him say it.
Well, let's pivot real quick. It seems like we spent a lot of time talking about the cat that lost the fight. But let's talk about the brother who actually won this thing. All right. The brother Bud Crawford, he noticed, or somebody told him, he didn't notice it, I guess. Somebody told him that Spence was at his fight. And of course, Bud turned up. Bud wants this man. Okay. Bud wants him. We want to see it. Do y'all think that we gonna get Bud and Spence next year?
Let me go ahead and get mine out the way, and I'll let these fellas have it because mine's not gonna take long. Errol Spence is a good man. Okay. He's a solid human being, but he is scared of Bud Crawford, and he is in love with being labeled a champion. And he knows the moment he fights Bud Crawford, champion, title, belt, all of that lingo goes away because Bud Crawford is going to put hands on him. Going to put hands on him in a way he's never experienced. So with that being said, I don't know what it will take to get Errol Spence in the ring with Bud Crawford because he's more enamored with the fact of being a champion. He's not a fighting champion. In this case, I gotta say it. And I really like Errol as a fighter. He's a paper champion.
Okay, T. Do we get that next year?
You'll
JoJo,
never get it. I don't think you'll ever get it.
we get that next year.
We can if Don King and Bob Arum gets involved.
You need both of them scowls on it.
I need both.
What's the gate? Ain't no more gate though, right? Who else is there for these boys to fight in the welterweight division? They can draw some money.
That's been Bud Crawford's argument the entire time. That's been Bud Crawford's argument the entire time. Like, you know, we have to make this fight because you're in it. You're in it for a person like Errol Spence. You're in it for two reasons: for the title, for the money. You're not in it for the competition. You're not trying to match yourself up against the best your class has to offer. So it's got to be for the other two. You got the title. You don't want the money, dude. That will be the highest selling fight in any year that they fight.
Did Spence fought Keith Thurman already?
I don't know. I know he fought Porter.
I don't think he's fought Keith Thurman.
Okay, so what I'm trying to narrow down and try to see, does he still have outs? Okay, because Shawn Porter finna retire, you don't have that out. You can't say I'm just finna go fight Shawn Porter again. All right, some folks might want to see Thurman versus Spence, because Thurman had some name record. You know what I'm talking about?
Last really good guy he beat was Garcia. He beat Porter. He beat Garcia. He fought Porter in 19.
What was the Garcia one close? It
was a unanimous decision.
Yeah, he beat both Danny Garcia and Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia was unbeaten at the time when he whooped him too.
So he still kind of got some outs still. He can do like a.
Dude, he's a hell of a fighter. Like I said, I don't want to take anything away from him. You put a equal man in front of him, Shawn Porter. He's going to do work. Don't get me wrong.
Good. I'm just trying to see. Okay,
he just doesn't want it with Bud Crawford, and that's
they got to make money. So if he can still make money without fighting dude, then we probably not gonna get it.
That's right.
But if he's already faced the other guys with at least name recognition, and ain't nobody gonna want to see that no more. And you got to fight Bud Crawford then.
Errol Spence. Best thing Errol Spence needs to do, because I think he's got the body type to go up. He just needs to go up.
You get to keep messing with them Canelos and
I'm just saying, like the Charlos. I'd rather he needs to just go up. He just needs to go up.
He don't want, but if he don't want it with Bud Crawford, he don't want it with the Charlo boys.
Well, then in that case, Errol Spence is glad.
I'm just talking about because they bigger. I ain't saying the Charlo boys are better than Bud Crawford pound. I'm just about because they bigger.
They're just bigger guys. Yeah.
They're
just bigger guys.
I thought Spence walked around bigger.
He does, man.
What the problem is? Let's go.
That's what I'm saying. You have to want to be willing to walk out of that arena the night you fight Bud Crawford or any other champion for that matter, and you not be champ when you walk back to the locker room. It's different when you can walk into a place and they say, "What's up, champ?" Or you walk in there with the titles.
All right. This Essentially Sports.com. Shout out to them. All right. They telling me he's announced he coming back in 2022, and these other folks he could potentially fight. Of course, Bud Crawford number one. They got and Caesar, you'll probably know this cat. Yordenis Ugas, Virgil Ortiz Jr., a brother who name I'm not even finna bother with this. Kudratillo, Abdul Kabr. I don't know. Sound like this brother is from over there in Uzbekistan or something.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know how to do that. And Jaron Ennis. I'm not paying to watch none of these fights other than Bud Crawford. None of these.
You're a boxing fan, and you're not giving yourself enough credit. You know the who's who of the boxers. How many of those guys did you recognize just off the name calling it out?
I think I saw Ugas somewhere. That's about it. But I'm still not buying that.
Okay, so they're all good fighters. They're all good fighters. So we're not
gate. We talking about gate. That's what we're talking about.
Gate, and we're talking about: are you willing to put your name, belts, hands on the line to say, I'm the best fighter in my division, in the division. He's not willing to do that. Those guys, yes, he can beat them. He can constantly be called champ wherever he goes, because with those guys, he is the betting favorite and the real favorite because he's a hell of a fighter. The moment he signs on the dotted line to fight Terrence Crawford, he is number 2 in everything, in hand speed, in punching power, in guts, in distance, in ring knowledge. Anything you can think of, he is number 2. And he's not ready to accept that. Sometimes you need a guy like Shawn Porter to go and fight Terrence Crawford and say, I don't care if I am second to you in everything, I'm still going to fight you. Shawn Porter showed you what a real fighting champion looks like. Yeah. He was going neck and neck on the cards with the guy and ran out of gas. And at the end of the day, the better talent prevailed. So us on the panel would say, well, if Shawn Porter can do that, surely Errol Spence, who's the better fighter, can go the distance with Terrence Crawford and figure it out. Can't do it. He's not willing to do it. I'm not saying he can't do it. He's not willing to do it.
If Spence fights Crawford, he's going to sleep.
T, let's put the money up, man. Put it on something. In IG Entertainment, we will be sponsoring the Bud Crawford.
Come on now.
Errol Spence Jr. fight. Okay? It's gonna stream live here on YouTube.
What we gonna do it at the Jackson Convention Center?
Come on now.
We're gonna do it in my backyard like them boys did. What's that boy that did and gone now?
Man.
The boy with the grill and stuff from Florida. Y'all know the boy.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Kimbo Slice.
Kimbo Slice.
Yeah.
Man.
We're gonna do a Kimbo Slice. T gonna get on the grill. We're gonna cook it up.
I'm at the grill pop.
You cannot say boxing and YouTube together because every time you do that, Jake Paul comes into the picture.
Jake Paul got a better chance of fighting Errol Spence than Bud Crawford does.
Jake Paul so crazy. I think Jake Paul will sign up just for the check. Jake bought that money.
Jake would.
Jake bought his money. I gotta get that to Jake.
No doubt about it.
America, y'all chime in, tell us what y'all thought. You know what I'm talking about. Of course, Terrence won the fight. He was expected to win the fight. He was a heavy favorite. The fight turned out to be more competitive. That's really why we kind of focused on things from Shawn Porter's side, because once it was so competitive, we didn't expect to see his pops just stop it like that. Obviously, I'm out here repping for the fathers more than my brothers are. But But y'all chime in and tell us what y'all think about the pop stopping the fight at that junction. And do y'all think that we will get Bud Crawford versus Spence in 2022? And if not, help us put pressure on these brothers because we need that fight to happen.
Ain't happening.
Put it on something. My kids wanted me to tell y'all to make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me across all social media platforms, like the videos, and share them. Did I forget anything?
And turn on the post notifications.
Y'all heard them. And also, visit Statement Tees, LLC.com, and shop with us. That's Statement Tees. Every t-shirt you wear
makes a statement.